all day. There's two of them straight ahead.
Hey, what's going on, guys and girls? Cody here with some hardcore team deathmatch on Hangar 18. Someone requested I do some hardcore team deathmatch, and I thought it was a great idea because you really don't see a lot of videos, tips, or any kind of information for hardcore. So I thought I'd try to step up to the plate, so to speak, and hopefully give you guys some tips. Alright, so first of all, I want to talk about the class setups, which can differ from core game modes, especially in regards to attachments. For instance, typically I like to run dual mags on most of my weapons because I like the extra ammunition that comes with it. And yes, I could use scavenger for extra ammunition, and I do at times, but really I'd much rather keep that perk slot open for flak jacket, which I find complements my style of gameplay rather nicely. However, in hardcore game modes, because the rate of bullet damage is so high and the level of life on the players is so low, I'm actually able to take out enemy players with fewer rounds, so I can conserve my ammunition more efficiently, thus eliminating the need for perks like scavenger or attachments like dual mags. And since I'm able to eliminate those, that opens up possibilities for other perks and attachments. Now typically for hardcore, I'm usually either running a suppressor or some sort of optics. I will use a suppressor on maps that have a lot of background noise, such as WMD with the trains that go flying by, or the do trains fly? Anyway, or on silo with the missiles, any kind of really noisy map. And I do this because I sound whore a lot, and when you take those maps with all the noise and then you add the sound of your gun firing on top of it, it makes sound whoring a lot harder. So adding a suppressor to your weapon can help alleviate some of that. Otherwise, on any other kind of map, I'm usually running some sort of optic like the red dot sight you see here. The red dot sight works great on pretty much any kind of game mode or map. The ACOG sight also works great, I think more so in hardcore than it does in core, on those larger maps with the long sight lines. But it does take some getting used to. But the reason I like using optics so much on hardcore is because when you find yourself in long range engagements, every single bullet counts, because in hardcore it only takes, maybe 2 shots at most to put somebody down. And in situations like that, it really all comes down to who's going to get their sight on target first, and having a good set of optics on your gun is going to help you in that aspect. Okay, let's take a look real quick at how we're going to maneuver through the map on a hardcore game mode. Okay, you see we're taking cover behind the barrels here, highlighted in red. Not only are we looking for potential enemy threats, we're also looking for our next point of cover. So once we make sure the area is clear, we go to find that point of cover, and then we move to it, and then we repeat the process of making sure the area is clear and finding our next cover. So literally we are moving cover to cover, which is critical in hardcore game modes. And core, you might be able to move from one side of the map, taking enemy fire the whole way, and still have a chance of surviving because the rate of bullet damage is much lower than it is in hardcore. So in hardcore, you don't want to go just rushing right out to the middle without thought or regard to what kind of cover points are there, because you're going to find yourself dead in a matter of seconds, because it's not going to take much to take you down. So pretty much what you want to do is keep yourself prepared for any situation. Usually gunfights end up occurring when people least expect it or where they least expect it. So if you're always moving from cover to cover, and before you move from one point of cover you've already predetermined where your next one is going to be, then you're always going to be better prepared for those surprise attacks. Basically, you just want to try to stay one step ahead of the game, and really you really need to have a good knowledge base of the maps. If you don't have a good mindset on the map, so I really highly recommend that you study the maps before tackling a hardcore game mode, so that you can be better prepared for knowing where those cover points are. And hardcore tends to be a pretty slow paced, or at least a slower paced kind of game mode, because people play a lot more cautiously. A lot of times they play a little more campy, which I don't recommend doing, because eventually somebody's gonna throw a frag or a semtex in your direction and take you out. So you really want to keep on the move, but you got to do it. You got to keep on the move a little more methodically. And because it is a slower paced gameplay, you're gonna have time to plan out your next move. at least a little more time than you would in core because it's not as fast. So since you're given that amount of time, use it to your advantage. You know, when you find your point of cover, consider every option that you have available to you before you actually make your next move. And if you do this and you plan ahead and stay ahead of the game as much as you possibly can, then you're definitely going to increase your chance of surviving as you maneuver through the map. And surviving is what's going to lead you to, you know, your high kills and high kill streaks. As far as kill streaks go, though, it's really not necessary to set your kill streaks too high. I do have a couple of high kill streaks here, but we'll discuss those here in a minute. But like I said, it is a slower gameplay. You're not going to see as much action, so lower kill streaks can be a lot more beneficial to you. Okay, I want to show you guys this real quick. Alright, let's stop the video here. You notice I'm way off target. And here's the great thing about the bullet damage on hardcore game modes. Even though I'm way off target, all I've got to do is keep my finger on the trigger and pull my sights back onto target. And I'm not going to need a lot of ammunition to take the guy out. If this had been a core game mode, because I was so off target, that would have been a great opportunity for the for the opposition to take me out, because I would have had to have gotten back on site and then unloaded a lot more ammunition into him before I could actually kill him. And I really wouldn't have had time to do that, especially if the opposition had a better sight on me. So accuracy is not a huge deal when it comes to close and some medium engagements. So you are actually able to, you know, spray in situations like that and pick off some nice kills. But you still want to, you know, take into consideration the amount of ammunition that you have, especially if you're not running scavenger or dual mags or anything like that. And yes, you can pick up, you know, weapons from the ground. But me personally, I would rather have a weapon that I'm comfortable with, a weapon that I feel like that I can control the recoil on it and I can effectively use to the best of my ability, rather than picking up some random weapon that I may have trouble with. Okay, so let's take a look at how we're maneuvering from the maps. All right, we're taking cover behind these behind this area here. We're going to highlight it in red, and I'm scanning the area. I noticed that all these green areas are potential sight lines, and I want to get to the other side of the map. But with all these sight lines, it's going to be very dangerous to do, so I'm going to move around the right side behind all these cover points. As I move through here, and I'm going to come behind these this structure over here to my left, and basically what I've done is while I was standing behind that first point of cover, the first thing I looked at was if the area was clear, and determine if there, if there was any kind of threat there. What I was looking for was popular camping spots such as that window or on top of the Blackbird, high traffic areas such as the little steps that come into the area there, or inside the hangar. I monitored all those areas, and then once I determined whether or not the area is clear, then I had to figure out where I wanted to go. And like I said, I wanted to get to the other side of the map, but I had to determine the best route to get there. So then I start to think about all the potential ways I can go through there. I could go straight through, maybe underneath the Blackbird. I could cut through the hangar, or I could go the route that I took. But I wanted to take a route that was going to reduce the amount of sight lines on me. It doesn't mean I wanted to take necessarily the safest route, because the absolute safest route is not always the best option, because it may reduce your ability to get kills, and getting kills is what's going to put points on the scoreboard for your team. But you do want to reduce the amount of sight lines on you, and so that you can put yourself in a situation where you're more likely to win a gunfight. Another thing I highly recommend for hardcore game modes is to play with a team. You don't have the HUD, you don't have your mini-map or any kind of information like that. So having teammates that can call out critical information such as enemy positions is great, in every aspect of the game. So highly recommend playing with a team or a party or something like that. But that was pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Be sure and subscribe for the latest from my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and thanks for watching. Peace out.